Good to go. Thank you so much, Carrie. All right, my friends. So I wanted to give you some sleep facts. And this is from a study from 2017, Statistics Canada put out. And it looked at more than 10,000 Canadians between the ages of 18 and 79 over a 6-year period. So I love statistics, but I love Canadian statistics. And anyone who's done seminars with me before, you've heard me say that. So I get really, really excited when I can find Canadian statistics instead of North American or instead of US. So 10,000 Canadians between the ages of 18 and 79 over 6 years. So more than 50% of women have trouble getting to sleep or staying asleep. So there was 5 findings from this study, and this is the first one. So the first finding was more than 50% of women have trouble getting to sleep or staying asleep. So according to the report results, 55% of women aged 18 to 64 reported trouble falling asleep or staying asleep. Sometimes, most of the time, or all the time. Only 43% of men reported the same troubles. Okay. 1 in 3 Canadians are not getting enough sleep. And I don't think that statistic is hard to believe because people are always saying they're not getting enough sleep, right? So 1 in 3 Canadians are not getting enough sleep. So about 1/3 of those surveyed slept fewer than the number of nightly hours recommended for optimal physical and mental health. This same group also experienced poor sleep quality more frequently than those who slept the recommended number of hours of sleep, or the recommended hours of sleep. So what does that basically mean to sum it up? Those who got the right amount of sleep also weren't waking up in the middle of the night. They were staying asleep better than those who didn't get the required number of sleep. All right, so third one, almost half of all Canadians do not find their sleep refreshing. Let's be honest, that is the worst, right? When you wake up in the morning and you don't feel refreshed. So almost half, that's a lot of people who are not feeling refreshed after sleep. So Statistics Canada found about 40% of men and 48% of women didn't consistently have a refreshing night's sleep. They also found that 1/3 had trouble staying awake during the day. Canadians are getting less sleep than they were in 2005. So this study was done in 2017. Canadians are getting less sleep than they were in 2005. So between 2007 and 2013, Canadians got an average of 7.12 hours of sleep. That's in comparison to a blissful 8.2 hours we got back in 2005. So they say the factors that are often linked, or that were often linked, included exposure to artificial light at night, and we are going to talk about that, caffeine consumption, work demands, social commitments, and family dynamics, according to the researchers. And the last one, women sleep longer than men. Women slept about 15 more minutes than men, according to the report results. On average, women got 7.24 hours of sleep, while men only got 7 hours. That extra 15 minutes that women get. All right, so these facts I got from the Canada Public Health. So if you wanted to go on the website and check it out, and they do have some other statistics that you could look at. All right, my friends, I am going to take a wild guess that most of you that are joining me today struggle with either falling asleep, staying asleep, or feeling like you had a good night's sleep. So likely you're feeling tired and sluggish throughout the day. There is a myth that older adults need less sleep. So there's a myth out there in the world that the older you get, the less sleep that you need. And it is not true. Older adults need the same amount of sleep as all adults. It doesn't change as you age. Now, the difference is that as we age, we tend to go to sleep earlier and wake up earlier. So it gives the illusion that as we age, we need less sleep. We need 7 to 9 hours of sleep. That is the optimal amount of sleep for feeling your best. Now, I bet I'm getting some dirty looks. I can't see all of you, but I'm sure there's some dirty looks out there. Some of you may be laughing. Some of you may be shaking your head, telling me no. But it's true. 7 to 9 hours a night of sleep is the right or good amount of sleep that adults need. And I'm going to give you some tips today to help you achieve that fabulous 7 to 9 hours of sleep. There are many reasons why you may or may not be getting enough sleep at night. Feeling sick, being in pain can make it hard to sleep. Restless leg syndrome, insomnia, waking up in the night and not being able to put yourself back to sleep. Caffeine, some medications can keep you awake. Or maybe you just can't fall asleep. No matter the reason, if you don't get a good night's sleep the next day, you may be irritable. Let's be honest. If you don't get enough sleep, you likely are irritable. You could have memory problems or be more forgetful. Feel depressed or have more anxiety. Guys, let's be honest. We do not need any more anxiety, right? So by getting more sleep can just help us feel better, help us feel less stressed, and help us get rid of some of that anxiety. Now, this is a really, really important one. You can have more falls or accidents. So balance and fall prevention. So anyone who's done fall prevention with me, one of the things I mentioned in that presentation is a good night's sleep. So lack of sleep will lead to more falls or accidents. It impairs your balance. So the less sleep you get, the more chance you have to get hurt or to fall. All right, so how do we get a good night's sleep? And some of the things I'm going to say seem very straightforward, or maybe you're already doing them. However, in all my wellness talks and in all the conversations that I've had with people over the years and still right now, sleeping, one of the biggest complaints I get is that people have issues sleeping. I very rarely have anyone say to me, I am a sleeping champ. I feel refreshed every day. And one of the reasons is because of our sleeping habits. Carrie, if I've still got you there, we've got a couple people in the waiting room. So I'm going to ask you to have a little bit of faith in me and try some of these things out. Changing your sleeping habits is one of the hardest things to do. And you want to know why it's one of the hardest things to do? It's because we don't want to. And that's a lot of times what it comes down to. we don't want to do those things that we have to do to get a better night's sleep. So I ask you to not give me resistance on this and try some of these things out. And if you do try some of these things out and they work and you're feeling better, let me know. And vice versa. If they're not working, let me know. I love to get your feedback. All right, so you're going to have an open mind. You're going to try some of these things out. We're going to learn how to get a good night's sleep. Friends, you need to follow a regular sleep schedule. This is really, really important. You need to go to sleep and get up at the same time each day. So important. We need to set bedtimes. You have to have a bedtime and you have to get up at the same time every day. That's going to make you feel better. Now, sometimes what happens is when people retire, before they retired, they had such a strict schedule. And then you retire and things get loosey-goosey. And then all of a sudden you have no sleep schedule anymore. So we need to still have a sleep schedule. So go to sleep, get up at the same time each day. Develop a bedtime routine. Now, I know this one might sound silly, but it really does work. So take time to relax before bedtime each night. Some people may read a book, listen to soothing music, soak in a warm bath. This is important because it tells your body it's time to shut down, that sleep is coming soon, right? And it really does work. So I use this. I have a warm bath. I bath every night. So when it's bedtime, even if I'm not sleepy, I have my bath. And sometimes I'm really grumpy about it because I don't want to have a bath tonight, right? I'm not sleepy. And my body knows it now means we're going to get into bed. So I start to get tired. It starts to help with that shutdown, your body to shut down, that internal clock. It doesn't have to be a warm bath. It can be soothing music. It can be you read your book, but something every night. So stay consistent. Try not to watch television or use your computer, cell phone, or tablet in the bedroom. So the light from these devices may make it difficult for you to fall asleep. They stimulate your brain, keeping you up. And it also can affect if you wake up in the middle of the night, right? So make it a rule. Guys, this is a really, really hard one. I know it is, and I get it. But this may be the most important one, okay? So no TV, no telephones, no computers in your room, okay? Sleeping or your bedroom should only be used for sleeping, okay? Keep your bedroom at a comfortable temperature, so not too hot, and try for a cooler room. That'll help you sleep and it will help keep you asleep. So another one, we want to trick our body. So no different than when I said we set that bedtime routine. No matter, I have a bath, whatever it is that you choose to do, you want to use low lighting as you prepare for bed. It also helps that internal clock and let your body know that sleep is coming soon, okay? So use your low lighting. Exercise. So really, really important. You want to exercise at regular times throughout the day, but not within 3 hours of bedtime, right? So no exercising at night. We want to exercise during the day. Now, some of you already do this with me and some of you don't. So we have a program, it's called Senior Center Without Walls, and we offer free 30-minute exercise classes 6 days a week. And you can do this on Zoom or the telephone. So I don't think there's any excuse why you can't exercise every single day. If you're interested in this, you can give me a call or send me an email and I'll get you signed up. But 30-minute free classes, we offer them. All right, you want to avoid eating large meals close to your bedtime. And I don't mean you can't have a snack at night. Of course you can snack, but don't have that great big dinner close to bedtime. It will keep you awake, okay? So if you are a late night eater, maybe it's time you revamp your eating schedule, and that's okay. And sometimes people will say to me, but that's the way I've eaten for 40 years. That's okay. Change is okay, my friends, especially if it's going to bring you sleep. So maybe you need to start moving all your food earlier. And maybe you start with just 15 or 20 minutes earlier, but try not to have that big meal close to bedtime. It can keep you awake and affect how you are settling. All right, so this one is stay away from caffeine late in the day. And that is coffee, tea, pop, chocolate, okay? That all has caffeine and it can keep you awake. Now, something I hear a lot from people is that caffeine doesn't bother them. And that may be true, but test it out. Try having your last coffee earlier in the day. Don't drink pop at night. Try not to eat chocolate at night. See if that helps, okay? And not necessarily at night. Maybe 3 o'clock is your cutoff. You can't have a coffee past 3 o'clock, okay? That's quite common. So even if you don't think caffeine affects you, test it out. And that's all I'm asking, is that we have open minds. And even though we think something is one way, maybe it's not, or maybe it's not anymore. Okay. So no caffeine. And I would, in all honesty, say 3 o'clock at least would be your minimum, right? So some people think they can't have a coffee after dinner. Try not to have one in the afternoon. All right, my friends. Make the room dark. So any light can disturb your sleep and can affect your ability to go back to sleep. So find any sources of light and cover it with tape. So a lot of times in our rooms, we have maybe on the TV, or if you have a DVD player, it's something like that in your room. I actually have a power bar that has a blue light on it. So go around your room and cover that stuff up with tape. Your curtains. Pin your curtains closed if you have street light or the morning sun comes in your window. That's going to help you get a better night's sleep, and it's going to help keep you asleep. Now, you do need a night light, and I am really big on that. So anyone who's done fall prevention with me, you need to be able to, when you wake up in the middle of the night, if you need to go to the bathroom, you have to be able to see, right, for fall prevention. So you might have your night light. So get a mask, get a sleep mask. That way you still have your night light for fall safety, but that sleep mask is going to keep that room dark for you for a good night's sleep. Now, there's also another option, and that's a motion night light. So the night light stays off, and then when you get out of bed or when you move, the night light comes on, and that will keep you safe. So lots of options there, but we want that room really, really dark. Now, I wanted to mention one other thing here. And I don't know if this, I might be the only person in the world, but I am terrified of the dark, like really, really terrified of the dark. And if I make my room super duper dark, I can't sleep. So yes, I'm a 44-year-old grown woman with growing children and grandchildren who is scared of the dark. And it doesn't help that I live out in the country, so I don't have any outdoor lights, right? So I don't have to worry about pinning my curtains closed. I can sleep with my curtains wide open. I keep my hall light on, and close my bedroom door. That way, a little bit of light comes through the bottom of the door, but it doesn't illuminate my room. It doesn't bother me when I'm sleeping, but I've got that little bit of light. Okay, so that's always an option also. Avoid alcohol. It may help you fall asleep, but studies show people who drink alcohol before bed tend to wake up more often throughout the night. So really, really important. And I know some articles and some studies that are being done now are even saying that people shouldn't be drinking past mid-afternoon, which kind of makes me laugh because when are we supposed to drink? In the morning, right? But try not to drink alcohol in the evening. Especially if you're one of those people that say, you know, I want to have a glass of wine or drink before bed. It helps me sleep. It might help you fall asleep, but it doesn't help keep you asleep. So if you're having troubles with that, try to avoid alcohol. Okay. Now, this is a biggie, napping. We want to avoid napping in the late afternoon or evening. So if you can. Naps may keep you awake at night. Now, I want to spend just a little bit of time talking about naps. Now, some people swear by napping as an effective way to relax and recharge, while other people find naps unhelpful and disruptive to their sleep. Napping can be helpful or harmful. Not all naps are created equal. There's many factors that impact how helpful naps can be. So studies show 5 minutes is too short of a nap. 1 hour or 60 minutes is too long. 15 to 30 minutes will recharge you and still give you the ability to sleep at night. So napping is just that. It is a quick power nap or short period of time, 15 to 30 minutes, to energize you and refuel you for the rest of your day. So if you are a napper, set an alarm. For real. Set an alarm. Anything over 30 minutes is too much. And guys, this is where I'm asking. So I'm sure there's some people giving me dirty looks right now, especially those of you who are like a good solid hour, hour and a half. Maybe I've got some almost 2-hour nappers out there. Try a shorter nap. See how you feel, right? Nap early. Don't nap late in the day, right? You want to get that nap in earlier in the day. So if you're a napper and you're having a hard time falling asleep or you're not staying asleep, try to nap earlier in the day. So we get into this cycle, right? We can't sleep well at night, or we don't sleep at night, and then we have a great big nap during the day, and then we can't sleep at night again. So it becomes a cycle. So let's start to change that cycle. Nap earlier, don't nap for any more than 30 minutes. Now, maybe completely napping and falling asleep isn't an option. You can relax and come to quiet. So you can close your eyes, still set your alarm, and maybe do a little bit of meditation or a little bit of mindfulness, right? And just breathe. That will also make you feel better, right? It will also energize you, okay? So that's another option rather than taking that full 15 or 30-minute nap. I grew up, my mom was a champion napper. She would do the 15, 20 minutes. We would have to sit on the couch. We would sit in what was called her back seat. So she'd lay on her side and bend her legs, and we'd sit in the back seat, and she would have her 20-minute nap. She did that my entire life from the time I was little. And that's always how I thought naps were. I thought people just had short little naps. And apparently people have really long naps. So shorten your nap time. You're going to feel better. All right. One other thing I wanted to talk about is why won't I stay asleep? This is a huge one. So why does it happen? Why won't we stay asleep? So there are lots of reasons why you might wake up during the night and not be able to get back to sleep. To start, as the night wears on, your body naturally moves into lighter stages of sleep, during which it's easier to be woken up. And that's why wake-ups are more likely to happen in the early morning hours. So as I was saying earlier, other things that can play a role is drinking caffeine in the afternoon or evening, having alcoholic nightcaps may make you fall asleep quickly, but often causes wake-ups. And the reason that happens is because the alcohol, as you sleep or as the night goes on, the alcohol starts to metabolize. A room that's not dark enough, a room that's too noisy or too warm can all result in you waking up. There's also various underlying conditions that may be to blame. So people with sleep apnea, people with an enlarged prostate. So men could be getting up to go to the bathroom more often. Restless leg syndrome, chronic stress, anxiety, heartburn, cough, all these things can make you wake up. So if you're having any of these conditions, or you suspect that you might have any of these conditions, call your doctor, speak to your doctor. Okay, so if you're waking up in the middle of the night, you need to resist the urge to grab your smartphone or tablet. Well, that's not going to be an issue because you guys aren't going to have them in your rooms. These devices emit blue light, which can overstimulate you and hinder your body's ability to fall back to sleep. So really, really important. If you wake up in the middle of the night, don't reach for that phone. If you maybe turn your alarm clock towards the wall, if you find yourself watching the minutes tick by. Oh my goodness, isn't that the worst, right? When you're watching time go by and you can't fall asleep. So just turn the clock. Don't look at the time. If after being awake for 20 minutes, you still find you can't get back to sleep, get out of bed. Get out of bed. Maybe read a page or two of a book or a magazine, listen to some soothing music, and then go back to bed, okay? So if this is happening, if you're waking up and you're having a hard time getting yourself back to sleep, I have a few things. One thing you can do is make a list. So if tomorrow's to-dos is racing in your head, if something's on your mind and bothering you, brain dump. Get it out of your head. Write it down. Then it will all be there in the morning. Friends, this really works. Try it, right? Write it down. So keep a pen and pad or notepad beside your bed and write it down and then go back to sleep. So those things, that to-do list or the thing you're worrying about just wants to be acknowledged. So by writing it down, getting it out of your head, you've acknowledged it, and then you can go back to sleep. Another thing you can do if you're having a hard time falling back to sleep is take 5 breaths. So inhale and exhale, taking these 5 breaths, and 5 breaths is kind of that magic number. It's going to help calm you. And I say 5 because 5's not overwhelming, right? We can all take 5 big breaths. So any of you who have done my deep breathing with me, you'd put one hand over your chest, one hand over your belly button, and just talk yourself through 5 big breaths or deep breaths. Now, if you're not falling asleep, the other thing you can do is tune into your senses. So think about how the sheets feel against your skin. Think about how the sheets smell. Think about if you can hear anything out your window. Can you hear the rain? Can you hear the wind? Maybe you can hear coyotes howling. How does the air smell? So just tune into your senses, and before you know it, you will be falling asleep. And I have one other thing that works really well is tense your toes. So if you're trying to relax, I know it doesn't sound very relaxing to tense your toes, but if you're trying to fall asleep, I want you to tense your toes. And then when you relax them, it helps your whole body become calm. Try it. It really works. So you would tense and pull up all 10 toes and then count to 10 and then let it go. It will help relax you. Do that a few times. It's going to help you fall asleep. Deep breathing. So similar to what I was saying with the 5 deep breaths or the 5 breaths, you can come to your deep breathing. So I really, really encourage you and invite you to join in on the deep breathing seminars. We have one next week. And I'm going to be doing a lot of things that we can do with sleeping. So how to kind of talk your body or relax your body for sleeping. So you can join me next week and I will help you with that. All right, so just to sum it up, to improve your sleep, go to bed and get up around the same time each day. Keep your bedroom just for sleep. Avoid watching TV, using the computer, tablet, phone in bed before you go to bed. Keep your bedroom dark, cool, and quiet. Reduce light in the bedroom from the TV, radio, computer, alarm clock, no matter what it is. Use a night light with a motion sensor, or like I was saying, you could use a sleep mask. And of course, use a comfortable mattress and pillow. Well, we should all have that anyways. We deserve it. Actions to improve your sleep. Avoid large meals before bedtime. Limit drinking fluids in the evening. So you want to, if you find you're getting up to go to the bathroom a lot, don't limit your fluids throughout the day, but just later in the day or in the evening. Reduce the amount of nicotine and alcohol you consume before bed. Avoid foods and beverages with caffeine, such as coffee, tea, pop, and chocolate. And chocolate's one of the ones we forget, right? We forget that has caffeine in it. We forget that chocolate will stimulate us. Some medications contain caffeine. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist about alternatives. So during the day, keep busy with different activities to avoid naps, right? Or nap earlier in the day. And we're not napping for any more than 15 to 30 minutes. Try to do 30 minutes or more of physical activity at least 5 days a week. Well, I gave you guys an option. You guys can exercise with me, right? And you want to preferably do it in the morning or afternoon. My friends, that is the end of our talk for today. Please try some of these out. They do help. We need a good night's sleep. And you can give me a call or send me an email. All right, my friends, let me unmute you here. All right. I hope everyone has a great rest of your day. If you want to hang around and